Greetings, my name is Barbara E. Ringrose. I'm the founder of W.O.W, Women Optimizing Women. And today we're going to talk about W.O.W and also introduce Laura Fournier with New York Life. W.O.W is a networking group that is both in-person and virtual, and we have a website presence since March 1st of 2023. Please take a look at us at wowwomenus.com. We'd love the pleasure of your company. W.O.W is all about supporting the women, whether they are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, in government, nonprofit, or in the corporate arena. We want to support you and spotlight you in your business. We want to get to know you, to refer business with you, get to know the thriving women in W.O.W, a professional women's networking group. So, as I say all of that, welcome. I thank you, Laura, so much for joining us. You're with New York Life now, big name. I'm sure a lot of people will recognize that. So talk to us about what you do and how did you get here from there?
Oh, that's going to be a long story, but thank you, Barbara, for having me and for this opportunity to talk to the other women of W.O.W. I'm a new member and excited to join your group of amazing women. So, New York Life is, I don't know, maybe not always a household name, but we have been around for 175 years. So a long time in the industry. But I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to join their team and be part of the team out of Frederick just this past year. But I've been in the finance industry for 40 some years. Started as a very young person.
So in the finance industry, what did you first do? What led you, your path to New York Life?
Yeah, that is a great question because it's been a good path. I started out in banking, retail branch banking, way back when, fresh out of high school, and started out as a teller. And then did that for several years as I was putting myself through college, University of Maryland, finance major, College Park, go Terps. Anybody's a Terp alumni out there. So was in banking, put myself through school as I was, working my shifts at the bank. And then I got the opportunity. It was a very long process, the most grueling interviewing process to get into their management program, 6 months and about 8 interviews. So got into the branch management, went through all their training program, became a branch manager. The bank's now Bank of America, but I was there 13 years and then started having a family and decided to jump out of the banking ship and go into sales. And I went into mortgage lending, and we have some commonality.
You're right.
With the mortgage lending field. It was in the bank, as a retail branch banker, banking was very different back then because you did everything. Like, you ran the branch, the money supply, hiring and firing, training, facility management, security, the ATM machines, all of your personnel. So you did everything pretty much from A to Z. Lending too.
Right.
So my lending career really started back in my banking career. So I jumped from that into mortgage lending, which is 100% commission, sales job. And I didn't have like a whole lot of sales, experience, because in the bank, your customers come to you and they have a need and they ask you. And I was very good at what I did. I had a big following. I'm really big on taking care of people and really understanding what they need. I never once told a customer that it wasn't my job to do that, or I never pushed them to somebody else. If I didn't know how to do something, I just figured it out and got it done for them. So I had a very loyal following at the bank and use that same way that I take care of customers and build relationships with them in my mortgage career, and had a very successful, nice career in mortgages. I did a lot of extra training and education for myself so that I could help my clients in all areas of their financial life, which is complex and ever changing. And was able to help them, help them repair their credit, help them get on a budget. What is a budget? How do I use one? How do I stay on a budget? How do I save money? How do I manage now that I'm a homeowner? All of the things that come with that. And just really staying in touch with them and always being a good resource for them, somebody that they could count on and trust that I was going to be there, and that there wasn't anything I wouldn't do to roll up my sleeves and really help them out. So I had a long career in mortgage financing and loved it. And then last year I had this opportunity come up. A friend of mine that works for New York Life told me about what he was doing, and he's like, I really want you on my team. I actually knew him through his wife, who was on the settlement side of, mortgage transactions. And we had become friends. He's like, no, I want you on my team. So I was like, you know what? I'm ready to do something new, and to be able to take my clients that I have and that I know and be able to help them out just to that next level with their finances and with their money. Because money is very tricky. It's a very touchy subject. It's a very personal subject.
Oh yeah, that's what you get in mortgage. You found that out.
Mm-hmm.
It's people are very passionate about their home. They're passionate about their family. They're passionate about their money, which then led you. I see these common threads. I see the weave of your employment history, where we started out helping people. Of course, that was significant during the process. Wanting to learn, being disciplined, being organized, because to perform all these tasks, you had to acquire all those skills, and maybe they weren't part of you, but they became part of you, which then led you to an opportunity where someone saw your value. And of course, it's about timing.
Yeah,
because things have changed dramatically in the mortgage business as much as they have changed in other businesses, if not more so. And because of the regulatory, I would say, piece that goes hand in hand with mortgage lending.
The last 14 years since the 2008 crash have been just daily change, constant daily change with the regulations. 14, I think it is, government regulators regulating one industry.
And that's interesting that you say that, because you are trying to navigate through all of those changes as they're coming at you. And as you said, daily, that's pretty hard to perform your job and to do it well. And you managed to do it well. Then someone saw how well you were doing, and that provided that opportunity to then leap into another profession and talk about what that is. What is your experience with New York Life, and where do you feel you're going in the near future?
I tell my friend Mark, I was like, I so appreciate that you called me and that you opened up this opportunity for me, because I really thought I would eventually retire out of the mortgage business. I didn't picture myself really making a change, but I think it took me about 2.5 minutes into my conversation with him and what he was telling me, how I would be able to serve and really be helpful to the families that I've already helped, and then their extended family and people that I meet, like yourself. And I was just like, okay, I'm in. Let's just do it. And it was almost something that, circling back around to my college degree and where I started in financing, also it was a leap of faith in myself, that no matter how long you've been doing something or what numeric age you are, you can always try something else. You can always push yourself a little bit harder. You can always just believe in yourself and go for that next level or that next career jump, and not hold yourself back that, oh, I've been doing this so long, I just need to keep doing it. Believe me, people were like, what are you doing? You're like so comfortable. You know what you're doing. You know everything.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't think there's anything comfortable about a comfortable zone. I want to, really expand my horizons and also be a role model to my kids. I have 5 kids, that no matter what age you are, you can always try and do something more, do something fresh, kind of revamp yourself and just go for it. Don't people are like, oh, your age. Ooh, I hate that. Don't even say that. That doesn't matter how old you are. You could, the numerics of it don't matter. Just
And I can tell you, speaking of age, I've had ladies at WOW, whether they're younger or older, retired, whether they're in new business, striving in an existing and thriving in an existing business, no matter on the spectrum of where these professional business women are, they are like you. They want to learn. They want to get information from you so they can understand. They want to be able to commit themselves to WOW. They want to do business at WOW with each other. And what you have to offer is significant, just as like the many women of WOW offer other ladies. And we're so glad that you decided to join us. I'm blessed with all the wonderful women around me here at WOW. And I think, too, on that note, we were talking yesterday about your you found that there's 2 primary targets or groups of people, perhaps, might be the better way for me to put that, so that you want to help them. And what are those 2 age groups?
Right, and it's important to be specific, and in being specific doesn't mean that I can't help anybody else that doesn't fit neatly in that category, because nobody really does. Everybody, every individual, every family is completely unique, and we always make our suggestions, our recommendations, the help that we give specific to the unique needs of an individual or a family. But I've just found that there's 2 areas that really can use some new help, some fresh ideas, and one is to get started when you're a young family, a young couple, maybe just about to get married or just married, or maybe you have a first baby coming along or your second. But there's that young couple that really doesn't know a lot about money, but they're doing a few things, or they're curious about how to talk about money with each other, how to structure their money, how to start putting some plans or a model in place so that they, have some structure around how they're using some money. That's one area that I really love working with those young families. Part of it's because my kids are kind of in that bracket now, from 21 to 32. And so working with them and their friends and their friends' friends and so on is really exciting. And one of the great reasons that it is exciting is because the younger you start, the easier it is to build what you want from your future. So the younger you start, the less money that you have to make big things happen down the road.
One thing I would like to add, so it doesn't matter if you're a family, if you're a couple, individuals should really take heed to what Laura has to say, because any person, regardless of your marital situation, your background, your occupation, your age, as she mentioned, even though she's looking at a few different groups in particular, because she wants to help. That helping piece is always there with the ladies of WOW. We're multifaceted that way. But it's also important to know, just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you shouldn't be planning for your future. That is a topic that I know that a lot of women just don't want to talk about, which is planning for their future.
Yeah, it's hard for many people to talk about it, because the one thing I always remind people is you're not born knowing about money or about finance or really about anything else in life. And you're kind of expected to, because all of us get into the workforce and you have to have money to pay for things and to just put the shelter over your head and food in your belly and all of those things, but we don't really get taught. We pick up things because we see things from our child perspective growing up, but most of the time parents don't talk to their kids about money. A lot of parents can't even talk to each other, the spouses, about money because it's very contentious. You kind of bring in your background, how you grew up and what you're thinking about money, but some of it can be just completely misinterpreted, or you heard some things that really don't work that well, or all sorts of things happen in family dynamics. Everybody has things that they drag from their background, so I can really be helpful in that. But the first thing is, don't be hard on yourself no matter where you are. We can help you. There's a path to doing things better, doing things easier, and putting some real good plans and steps in place. And I really can work with a lot of people. The second group of people that I really like working with is pre-retirees, people that are mid-career, and helping them not change what they're doing. A lot of times they're doing a lot of great things because most people that are working in a business maybe have a 401k and they're plunking their money away. But there's really some great strategies that you can implement at that point that can really boost and elevate, enhance what you have for retirement. So I love that group too because they're already doing so many great things. But if we just tweak it, we can build in a lot of safety, a lot of like your own pension. You can be your own pension plan and really set that stable kind of foundation for your retirement, because retirement is a whole different animal. Because when you're working, you're building up, and then you retire, and then you're taking out. And the building up and the taking out are two vastly different ways of thinking about your money. And I do know from my own experience and from helping clients that really nobody talks about the best ways to take and use the money that you've accumulated in your retirement. And there are some fantastic strategies that really put you in a good place. But most firms out there really just talk about the accumulation.
I think that's
and
important.
Not the distribution. And it's two different models, and you don't hear about how to best use what you've done along the way. And that's where we can really be helpful.
And as a recent retiree, you wouldn't know it because I started WOW in 2022. I also retired from my corporate job, mortgage lending, in 2022 in July. And I think one of the things I learned while I was doing mortgage, and you talk so much to people about money and their family and their future while you're doing mortgage lending, it's almost like you are a consultant and a counselor, in addition to providing a product for them, hopefully for them to better plan their finances. But the one thing I saw over and over again was people weren't prepared for retirement.
No.
And after 2008, 2009, when we had that horrible experience in that bubble, if you will, then people pulled their money out of their investments feeling that the stock market crashed. And can you talk about that, about the changes in the market and how knee-jerking to those kind of things that are happening globally that we have no control of, or maybe here locally, how can they better help themselves so that they can provide better for their future when there's media hype about something or the stock market plunges, whatever those dynamics happen to be?
Well, the best thing is you absolutely need to be working with somebody that is there for you when you have those questions. And there are no silly questions, or, if you're worried, you're worried. And you should be able to pick up the phone and call that person that has your money. They have your money. First of all, they really should pick up the phone and have called you. But if you're so worried and you're staying awake at night, call them, and if you can't have a really good conversation, because all of these processes take conversations, and that's with an S, plural. It's many, many conversations. And honestly, if I'm doing my job properly, then I am talking to my client, not even just once a year. Once a year is the bare minimum. If you have not talked to the person that's the holder and the custodian, the fiduciary of your money, your assets, then it's time to get a second opinion, a third opinion, and talk to somebody fresh and new, because they're not doing you justice. You have to be able to have these conversations, and then you want to get education and information about what is going on and what does it really mean, and how is your portfolio allocation going to carry you through these things that are out of our control. We don't control the economy, we don't control the elections, we don't control world events, but how we work with our clients and we understand what's important to them, what is their risk tolerance, what are other factors that come into play? How do they like to spend their money? How much liquid money do they need? What does liquidity even mean?
Yeah,
What does diversification mean? And it means slightly different to each family, because their understanding, their attitude, how they use their money, how many people they take care of, it's totally unique. So we need to be making suitable recommendations for each person, unique to them. And it takes conversation and it takes trust. But the trust, for us, is built from me being there for my clients, listening to what they say, and having those conversations and really getting clarity on what they mean. Because you can say something, but what it means to you and what it means to me could be two different things. So I need to find out what it means to you from your point of view, so that I can really serve you well.
Well, it sounds like your background, where you've been to get here, was the perfect combination of the threads, if you will, that wove this industry to you and gave you the opportunity now moving forward, instead of going into retirement, now to have another occupation. But this type of occupation isn't just for somebody who's looking at changing a job. Maybe somebody who's starting out in a job. You can get yourself education. Laura talked about her degree and how that helped her. Very important to educate yourself. And Laura, if people want to get in touch with you at New York Life, how do they do that? What's your best form of communication?
Well, I have one phone number, and my cell phone, it's with me all the time. Occasionally it walks off. I really do need a leash for it, but other than that, one phone number, 301-674-7716. I also have my email address. That's a little complicated, so text me or call me first, and I'll because spelling my name and all of that.
And it's Laura Fournier, which is Laura
Fournier.
I'm Barbara E. Ringrose. I'm the founder of W.O.W, Women Optimizing Women. I appreciate you spending time with us during this video and meeting Laura. She is a great asset to W.O.W. We are so glad she decided to join us at W.O.W. Barbara E. Ringrose, founder, W.O.W, Women Optimizing Women. And please visit our website. We look forward to the pleasure of your company, wowwomenus.com. Stay well.